Good morning, students. Welcome back. Today we are going to start the new module series. At the end of this lecture, I am going to introduce sequences and series and how these sequences and series are going to be converges. Let's start. In ancient times, there was a sense of mystery that an infinite sequence of numbers could sum to be a finite number. Consider uniform motion that proceeds along the x-axis from 0 to 1, with unit velocity. So the time it takes is t equal to 1, right? But the ancient Zeno said the cat in this figure 1 goes half distance from x equal to 0 to x is equal to 1 by 2. Then the half again the remaining distance x equal to 1 by 2 to x is equal to 3/4 and so on. So the sequence of these increments I shown in the figure 1 by 2, 1 by 4. Next it is covering 1 by 8. After that it is covering the distance for half of 1 by 8 is 1 by 16. Like that it will continue. So you can see this visual common sense tells us that by adding all these distances it will be equals to 1, isn't it? So this makes us motivate us to introduce this sequence and series. Let's start with the definitions. Infinite sequence. An infinite sequence of numbers is a function whose domain is the set of positive integers. So means I have some set of positive integers which is a domain. Let me take, I have some set A and another set B. Okay, so this is the domain set. So here I am just giving the numbers set of positive integers, maybe natural numbers 1 to n. These we can call it as index numbers. So for each number I am going to assign some value. It is 1 function. So let me take 1 for 1, for 2 is 4, for 3 is 9, like that. So on other side in codomain I am forming the sequence 1 4, then 9, 16, like that. So this sequence of numbers I am assigning with some index numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, clear? So we have index number. So this sequence of numbers, whatever you have the values here 1, 4, then here 9, 16, all these numbers you can represent on the real line, isn't it? Here I took some example. An is equal to root n. So means I can start with the index number a1, right? Then a2, a3, right? a4, like that. So in that case we have root 1, root 2, root 3, root 4, something. All these values we are able to represent on the real line. Suppose the same thing you can represent in the plane also. In that case I have to take the index numbers on the x-axis, means n values. Okay, and then for each index number there is a assigned value, sequence number. So that is I am just showing on the y-axis. So let me take this value, a is equal to root n. What is happening? So if I take n is equal to 1, value is here. If I take n is equal to 2, value is here, and equal to 3, 4, like that. So what exactly you are observed? It is not reaching to some point, it is going far away to infinity. So that in that case this sequence you can call it as it's a diverging sequence. Let us see this example. An is equal to 1 by n. So see here what is happening. I will start with n is equal to 1, so that is 1 here only. N is equal to 2, so half of this. Okay, half of this means in between 0 and 1, 0.5. So here, and n is equal to 3, maybe a3 will get here. So means for all these values, n is equal to 1 to n or infinity, we have an values. An values, if you are observed, a1 start with 1 and here a1, and then a2 value is half, means here. Okay, half of in between 1, 0 and 1, half value is this one, so that point is here. So it will continue as you are observed, it is reaching and reaching, going towards converging to 0 here on the real line. So here also in the graph you can see that it started at 1 and reaching and ending at somewhere after n. When n is increasing, n tends to infinity, definitely it is reaching to, your an value is reaching to 0. So here if you see the another example, an is equal to minus 1 whole to the power of n, 1 by n. So from this also you can prepare the sequence of numbers, starts with a1 and a2, a3, a4. So if you see here, this is somewhat peculiar. What we are getting, n is equal to, start with 1, so we have positive value, n is equal to 2, we have negative value, it is showing on other side, a2 is showing here, and a3 is showing on positive side, a4 is showing on negative x-axis. But finally, even it is moving in between positive and negative axis on the real line, but it is converting towards 0 on real line. The same thing I am showing on plane. So when n is increasing, when n tends to infinity, n starts with 1. In that case, a1 value is 1. After that, it is going like this, and finally it is reaching to certain point. Okay, that means this type of sequence we can call it as these are going to be convergent sequences. Okay, right. So now we will define the series, very important series, that infinite positive terms we are considering in our curriculum. So we are taking infinite series. So series is which is represented with curly brace. So I am going to prepare the series now. Curly brace of an, which is representing, previously we consider all the sequence numbers. When sum up all the sequence numbers, it will become the series. So a1 plus a2 up to an plus up to infinity. Okay, so this is called, this we can represent with sequence, we will represent with this curly brace an. Sometimes in some textbooks notation will be in between like this, greater than less than symbol. Okay, in between that we will write some an, but usually we will follow this notation. It is very nice notation, right? So this an, curly brace of an, which are sum of all these sequence numbers, which is called infinite series. Okay, so here in this infinite series we have nth term, that is an, that we will call it as nth term of the series. And sometimes from this infinite series we can take sum of partial sums, which is denoted by Sn. This is also series, but these are some finite series which we are not considering whole infinite series. So I am just taking with the first element, that is S1. S2 means first and second element. If I am taking Sn, if I am taking Sn is equal to A1 to An. So which is, mathematically you can write with the summation symbol, k is equal to 1 to n ak. So these are called sequence of partial sums. Do you understood? Previously it is an infinite series. I am just taking only up to some r terms or n terms. So those are called sequence of partial sums. This is very important because based on this We are going to tell that how the infinite series is going to behave, whether it is going to be converge or diverge based on this partial sums itself. So Sn is being a nth partial sum here. Is it clear? How I defined Sn? A1 to An. Okay. So if the sequence of partial sum converges to a limit, suppose this is your Sn, if I applied the limit for Sn, limit some n tends to infinity for Sn, then if I get some limit L, which is some finite value, I can say that the series is infinite series is going to be converge, because its partial sum is converging. Obviously its infinite series is going to be converge, and that sum value is equal to that limit itself. Okay, suppose if the sequence of partial sums of the series does not converge, then we can say that is series is going to be diverge. I took some example here which is well known for us, geometric series, right? We may be started at a elementary level. A plus AR square plus and so on, AR to the power of n minus 1. So what is the nth term here? AR to the power of n minus 1. So it is converges to A by 1 minus R. So the sum of the infinite terms which will be equivalent to, we know the formula, that is n is equal to 1 to infinity AR to the power of n minus 1. So the same series I represented with the summation symbol, sigma symbol, n equal to 1 to infinity AR to the power of n minus 1. When you expand, you will get the same series. Okay, so this is equal to the sum, infinite series sum, as you know, as a formula, this is A by 1 minus R. Okay, so this is going to be converge, that sum value, you will get some finite value when the common ratio mod R. Why I am taking mod? Sometimes R value may be negative, better to make it as modulus. So anyway, mod R less than 1. Okay, if mod R less than 1, then I can say that it is going to be converge. If mod R greater than or equal to 1, the infinite series, the geometric series is going to be diverge. Okay, so let's see, I am preparing here one table with n is equal to 1, means I am starting the first element as A1. So I am taking some A value. As you know, if you know A and R value, you can prepare your geometric series. So I am providing here A is equal to 1 by n, common ratio R is equal to 1 by 3. So with the help of this, I can prepare the geometric series. A value is 1 by 9, and then A into R, 1 by 9 into 1 by 3, that is 1 by 27, plus and so on. So this whole thing we can represent as like this, AR to the power of n minus 1. Same thing I am writing here, 1 by 9, 1 by 3 whole to the power of n minus 1. And as for that formula, what is that? A by 1 minus R for infinite sum. So if we get the finite value here, luckily, because R value is 1 by 3, which is lesser than 1, so definitely we will get some finite value. Series is going to be converge. Your geometric series is going to be converge. So here you see some more examples for geometric series only. These are not there in our syllabus, but for cope up with the next topics, we should understand why we should learn this geometric series. Where we are getting the difficulty, then what approach you have to go ahead to discuss about the nature of the series, whether it is going to be converge or diverge. That is the reason we should learn these simple problems also. See here, this is some series which you are representing in the summation form. Okay, of course, summation n equal to 1 to infinity 3 to the power of n minus 1 over 6 to the power of n minus 1. We can split that into two terms, and you know the difference rule, so that we can write the summation symbol for both the terms. Okay, and if you see here, first term, okay, first summation, what is the series here? So when n is equal to 1, we got 1, n is equal to 2, we got 1 by 2, then 1 by 4. So that means we have the series 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 like that. So what is the common ratio here? R value is 1 by 2. Of course, first term is A value is 1. If you see the second this series, and n is equal to 1, we have 1, n is equal to 2, we have 1 by 6 like that, then the series will form like 1 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 12 and so on. So in that case, what is your common ratio for R? That is 1 by 6. So for the second series, R value is 1 by 6. So as you know, the formula for infinite series, sum of the infinite series for geometric series, when R value is lesser than 1, mod R value is lesser than 1, then we can use this formula, isn't it? So A by 1 minus R, so that we got this result. For both series, they are going to be converged because R values are lesser than 1. Right, so this is also same. As you know, even I was given summation n equal to 0 to infinity 4 by 2 to the power of n. 4 is a multiple of the whole series, so when some constant is multiple, you can take it outside. Remaining, when you are writing in terms of series, so it's very clear. Again, here A is equal to 1, your first term, and R value common ratio is 1 by 2. So you can use your formula A by 1 minus R, we are getting 8. So means in these examples, we are reaching to some particular limit. Okay, so that's why these series are going to be converge. Let's see here. I just used the different approach. I'm not using simply A by 1 minus R. Even you can use this Sn means partial sum up to nth term. So if I sum up to nth term, Sn is equal to what is the formula here for this? This is also geometric series, isn't it? What is A value? 1. R value, common ratio 1 by 3. Okay, so I hope everybody knows how to get the common ratio. So you have to divide your present term with your previous term. Okay, so here 1 by 9 divided by 1 by 3, that will get 1 by 3. Any present term, just divide with your previous term, you will get your common ratio R. Right, of course this is a geometric series, very elementary series. I hope all you people know that. So I have Sn term. Instead of taking infinite sum like previous formula A by 1 minus R, simply I want to check it with up to n terms. We have the formula, so just we use the same thing, and we got this Sn. Again, if this Sn means this Sn when n tends to infinity, what is going to be happen to this Sn, isn't it? So we have Sn 3 by 2 when n tends to infinity. So 1 by 3 to the power of n will become 0, isn't it? So we got 3 by 2. Again, it is a finite quantity, hence this series is going to be converge. So we can test in this way by taking their partial sums, and when those partial sums, when s again n tends to infinity, partial sums, if we get some result, even partial sums, if we have some finite value, I can say that the infinite series is going to be converge. Right, so here well known series for everyone, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n. So what is your Sn here? N into n plus 1 by 2, isn't it? Up to n terms. But we have infinite series here. What we consider? When n tends to infinity, for this it is very clear, it goes to infinity. So this series is going to diverge. And we observe till now, we just taken almost all series are except this example 4, the remaining all series are geometric series. This series is also a well-known series for us, arithmetic summation. So we know this formula, and immediately we applied, this is up to Sn term we consider, then we applied the limit, then we got infinity, so that series is diverging. And thing is that our series are not that much simple. We have some power series. We are going to learn it. Just by looking at, we can't get some idea whether the series is going to be converge or diverge or oscillatory. So that we need to test these series by some noun tests. We have some tests, TEST, tests to test these series, isn't it? Means how series is going to be behave, whether it is converging or diverging. For that, there are certain various tests are there. We have to learn those tests to test the particular series, whether it is going to be converge or diverge. So these tests we are going to learn in our next class. So today I want to just give the introduction to you how the series is going to be looks like, and as well as sequences. In our syllabus we have only series, there is no sequence part. So that series also we have a number of tests, but we are talking about only two types of tests. One is Cauchy's nth root test, another one is D'Alembert ratio test. These two tests we are going to learn in our next lecture. Okay, so till then please wait. Thank you.